All right, in this video, we're gonna have some fun. It's gonna be like a little group therapy session here. We're going over the 7 myths about 2 really hot topics. First one's the law of attraction. Okay, man, that's got a lot of stuff in there. The second is manifestations. And this is not just some esoteric theory that I'm just pulling out of thin air. This is coming from being in the trenches with you. Let's start with the biggest one, okay? This one's on the law of attraction, right? You probably know about that, you've heard about that, but essentially the law of attraction says a couple things. That thoughts are things, okay? What you think about, you bring about. Whatever you put out there materializes in the physical world. So if you're projecting bad out there, you're gonna get bad back. If you're projecting good out there, you're gonna get good back. Oversimplifying, but let's keep going. The thing in the law of attraction, I don't know who started this, maybe in the movie The Secret, they say that, okay, well, you're manifesting what you want by attracting that and visualizing what you want, which I agree with, right? Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. The common narrative around the law of attraction, where I disagree with it a lot, is that it says all the bad stuff that you're experiencing right now, you're attracting to you, okay? You're depressed, you're anxious, you have repeated thoughts throughout the day, your fault, you're to blame, and use the law of attraction and you can attract better things if you just think it and you just become obsessed and you reprogram and all this stuff, right? The one big gaping flaw there is that it's not like an on or off switch. It's not like you're attracting something, attracting the negativity to you, and it's gonna stick to you like flies to one of those honey traps. It's something deeper, right? And this is where the law of attraction, in my opinion, does a lot of harm. There's no emphasis on healing. A lot of trauma, big or small, beliefs, people dying, like all this stuff, you actually need to heal from it, okay? Without the healing, there's no growth. And so to almost say that you're just attracting it to you, it doesn't account for the healing process that needs to be there to really push through it and grow and come out the other side and raise yourself up. And so a lot of people are trying to use the law of attraction or manifestation to go around their problems, right? Or around their negative ick feelings, let's call it that. But the secret is that you actually don't need to do that at all. You need to go through it. That's the way to really work through it, right? Whether it's shadow work, whether that's therapy, whether that's journaling, whether that's meditation, all this stuff that takes work, people are trying to circumvent that by just tapping into a law of attraction and kind of hack your way out of it. And there's no emphasis on healing. That makes sense? Because here's the thing, we don't always become the highest versions of ourselves that we can imagine, right? Law of attraction, manifest, I'm just gonna become a billionaire, ripped up with 6-pack abs and every girl wants to date me, right? We kind of default to the lowest levels that we can accept. That's the truth. Okay, so you're almost affected more by the quote unquote bad stuff in your life than you are by the inspired stuff. And if you think of a hot air balloon and you just try and fill it full of hot air, that's half of it, right? You need that. But if you never address those sandbags that are holding that hot air balloon on the ground, that thing's not going anywhere, right? Yeah, no, it's not. So these sandbags come from not just avoiding the bad stuff in your life, right? Like law of attraction, only focus on what you want, only focus on the positive, right? My point is that you actually gain more growth. You gain more by looking at some of the negative stuff sometimes, right? Now it's a trap because you can get stuck there, and some people do. They get so over-identified in their past, in their stories, in their pain, in their condition, and they have labels for it, and now they've been diagnosed with it. And I see it all the time on like mental health stuff on TikTok and stuff, and it's like every video is so convincing that if you scroll on there or you watch YouTube videos talking about a condition, it's like vague enough to where you're like, wow, I am ADHD, bipolar, I have an avoidant attachment style, and all the above. I'm not trying to minimize that stuff, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, great, you just can talk about your problems till you're blue in the face, and some people do in therapy for 20 years, but at some point, you gotta say, do I want this? Is this helping me? No, okay, how am I gonna heal from it, grow from it, honor it, and move forward? So that's my second main thing that I think people who believe in this law of attraction camp, right, hardcore, and they get kind of sucked into it, and it has a positive intent, right? Thinking positive and this stuff. But the negative, the shadow side of it is ironically not looking at the shadow side of the stuff that is holding you back. That makes sense? There seems to be this narrative, right? Like how to manifest anything in 24 hours. And that's good clickbait. And that's a good way to get people into a video, show them what they want. But some people take it to the nth degree and they're like, here's how to manifest anything in 24 hours. Love, money, job, this fast mentality that you can get anything, anytime. It'll just show up on your doorstep as soon as you get it like that. 99 times out of 100, that is not how manifestations actually work. Manifestations are much more gradual. Understand that when they come, it will seem like almost not a big deal. And almost, I don't want to say a letdown, but it'll be a lot less like, oh my God, I've arrived, here I am, this is perfect. Because it'll seem more normal, it'll seem gradual that it came on. All right, this next one is this. All you gotta do to manifest is just sit back like this and receive. Yeah, that $1 million, yep, bring it right here. That's kind of a narrative that gets promoted out there, and one that I see a lot of people thinking that, you know, they kind of fall into, that it's so easy and you just sit back and receive, right? Believing, getting your thoughts in alignment, receiving, worthiness, all that stuff. But then it's also what? The law of Goya, the law of Goya. You know what that stands for? Get off your ass and actually get out there and start working towards those manifestations. It's a brutal thing you have to accept, but you're 100% responsible for the results. Very briefly, where I'm going with that is that I don't believe in this kick back and let things get delivered to you on a silver platter narrative that is talked about with manifestations or law of attraction. The universe is like a genie, Aladdin with 3 wishes, right? And you rub it and you say, I want this, and it brings it to you. I think that when you take a step towards your goals, towards the things you want, towards the kinds of experience you have, right? They take a step towards you. When you take a step towards it and you're almost detached from the outcome and you let go a little bit of how things have to be structured, rigid like this, right? They almost take 2 steps towards you because now it's a fun process and you're more likely to take more action, which will bring you closer to the thing you want to manifest. I mean, it's really hard to manifest a relationship that you want if you never put yourself out there. You get the point? Get off your ass. Number 6, and this one, so important. You see this in business. It's like, okay, once I'm clear on my niche, they want the perfect strategy and the perfect niche and this clear, like this is how it's going to go and it goes exactly like this, right? That, my friends, is completely backwards to how it works. And this is the one-liner that you want to put in your journal, right? This is the quotable. You don't get clarity so you can act. You actually get clarity through the action. You don't get clarity and then you take action. Okay, I have this perfect plan, I have this perfect path, I have this perfect thing, it's perfect. Now I can act and my actions will be perfect and yep, no hiccups. You just have to see the next step and then the next one reveals it and the next one. And pretty soon you're 20 steps ahead of people who are still on step 1 waiting for that perfect vision, that perfect star alignment moment. You see how that works? The final one. I saved the best for last for you. This is my favorite one. There seems to be like this idea of a rule book floating out there. Example, you never put not in your affirmations. And you just ask them, why? Well, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between blah, 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 and they have all these examples of why. And I'm like, who's writing that rule book? Same thing with like, oh, you should never do meditation unless it's before bed or first thing in the morning when you wake up. What rule book? 50 different diet books. Which one works? They all do if you follow them all the time, right? But you can't follow them all. Otherwise, you'd just be so confused. Let's just say you just started reading them all. Well, this one says to eat carbs. This one says never eat carbs. This one says fats are bad and they're going to give you heart disease. This one says eat only fat and do a ketogenic diet, right? There's multiple correct ways. There's not just one right way. And that this idea of the rule book to, okay, I have it right here, section 330B, I'm looking at affirmations and yep, you can never say not. So that violates the rule. So the universe, it won't bring it to you. Your manifestation is void. Come back next year. That's ridiculous. Okay, don't get so caught up on these rules. And I think, we're just programmed from a young age to just look for the correct way and like, how do I get an A on that paper? And okay, what's the correct answer? But with all of this more like esoteric self-development, spirituality kinds of things, there's multiple right ways, just like there's multiple correct diets. I encourage you to stop trying to be more of other people and try to be more of yourself. Make you the best version of yourself. Not the best version of me, not the best version of Guru A, B, C, whatever. The best freaking version of you. And I think it comes from creating the 2.0 version of yourself and really like getting guidance on that and, getting the self-discovery and the tools to find that so it's more natural when you shift on it. And that comes from rewiring yourself at the identity level. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.